Last time on Kamino, we illuminated the big dome. Our original plan this week was to work on the interior. However, after numerous accidents, the clones have requested that we finish installing railing on the platform for their safety.
Hello boyos, Rich Boy J here back with another video, and this is going to be another episode of building Kamino in Lego. Before we dive into anything, first and foremost, if I could get you guys to like the video, that would literally mean the world to me. We hit around 600 likes last video. I want to aim for 750 for this video, so if you could do me that favor, I would be eternally grateful. Next order of business, we did have a Kamino stream, which I must say, if you guys aren't tuning into those, I definitely urge you to do so. It is not only a great way for you to see progress on the mock early, but also to hang out with some boyos, talk Lego Star Wars. It really does not get any better than that. So I have to give a shout out to my guy, Solid Brick Studios, for contributing to the mock and donating this week. I always say this, but these donations go so far to help make this mock possible. If you're someone who can't make the live streams, you can still do so by using the super thanks here at the bottom of the screen. It's a way for you to basically donate to YouTube videos, and it really would help out the build. This is going to be one of those weeks where I put quite a considerable amount of hours into the build, but it's not going to reflect that much. And what I mean by that specifically is we pretty much just were able to work on the railing sections on the outside of the build. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. This week started off with a live stream where I was going to be working on some of the railing sections, and we ended up actually having a pretty civilized conversation about food.
How do so many of y'all like raisins? I'm genuinely shocked.
Raisins are good. What do you mean?
No, bro.
They're sweet. Hey, how about a pretzel?
Absolutely not. Pretzels are worse than raisins.
I can't believe you don't like pretzels.
Yeah,
That's the craziest thing I've ever heard.
Different.
That's like saying you don't like bread. Like,
no, it is not, bro. Are you kidding me? Thinking about hard pretzels makes me want to gag. Like, Trevor says a peanut butter dipped pretzel is something I'd pay to see you eat. Oh my, bro.
Oh, yo, that's right. You don't like
the only thing that would make that worse is like celery on top. Like, ugh.
And then put it on a bagel.
Wait,
I don't hate on a
no. So they do celery, peanut butter, and raisins are called ants on a log.
Yeah.
Bro, that is the most unappetizing thing I've ever heard. Why would you want to eat something? Why would you want to eat something called ants on a log? Like what?
Who cares what it's called?
That sounds horrible.
Nah, bro.
Even after the many hours that it took me on the live stream, I realized it was going to take many more hours to get all these railing sections built up. So I went ahead and threw on some GTA 5 gameplay of all things to watch. I've really been in a GTA mood lately, especially with the recent announcement of the GTA 6 trailer, which I am very impatiently waiting for. These aren't like the biggest sections ever, but they took so long to build, especially when you're having to do it more than 40 times. It certainly didn't help that during the build process, I screwed up at least a few of them and had to go back and redo them. And then even once I started putting them on the build, I realized again, I messed up and I had to redo even more of them. If I had to pick one word to describe this build so far, it would definitely be repetition. I've never had to build so many repeating sections so many times in one build. And that's not even counting the fact that I am eventually going to have to build a whole other domes. But with how many times I've had to build each and every section of this thing, I feel like I could rebuild the whole thing from memory at this point. Okay, that time lapse is definitely not going to convey just how long it took me to get all these guys built. But finally got them knocked out. I also went ahead and added this little dark gray trim on the edges of most of them. I say most of them because I did have this group over here, which I just didn't have enough of them to add to it, which is actually not a huge deal just because I don't really need those for the dome that I'm working on. I was just building them out just so I could kind of see what it would look like on the dome. But in actuality, it's going to be replaced by a big like bridge section in that area. So I'm probably just not going to end up adding them to the Kamino dome right now, but I got, I think it's 20 on one side and then 11 of the other side, and it'll make a lot more sense once I actually get them added to the build, but I think this is going to make a pretty big difference in the overall aesthetic and finally having the edges of the build built up and really just solidifying the exterior, and hopefully we'll be able to get a better look at what it's going to look like in the end. So unfortunately, I think this is pretty much all I'm going to do for this episode. Had big plans, didn't quite work out that way. This just took so long. I tried to knock out a lot of this progress on stream, but I ended up having to spend a significant amount of time off stream getting most of these built up. So let's go ahead and get them added to the build. Now, I really wanted this part of the video to be this nice, long, sped up section where you see me put all of the railings onto the build, but I started having so many problems with just the rings parts just snapping off, where I had to go back and re-click the flex tube into the assembly to get it to work together. This eventually just became so frustrating that I had to turn off the camera and just really take my time with each and every one to ensure they could go on. So unfortunately, you only get half a time lapse here. One thing you will notice is that I ended up moving that middle table out of the way so I could access both sides of the build without having to rotate it towards the edge, which saved me a lot of time and energy. This build has gotten seriously heavy as of late, and it's becoming more and more difficult to move it. And just like that, Kamino is finally, at least slightly, OSHA compliant. We got these railings built up all around the entire build, and it makes it just look that much more complete. I'm so happy with the way this thing came out. You'll notice that if we come around to this side that we don't have the railing here. This is kind of what I was talking about. This is where that big bridge is going to extend from, and then it will connect to another dome opposite it. One thing I did kind of do that was interesting was I lined up this guy right here. He's basically functioning as like a sniper, I guess, and very much gave me the vibes of the Kamino episode from Clone Wars, where they have the ARC troopers kind of posted up right here, and then they're like overlooking the bridge, which would be kind of right here, like where my hand is, extending. So basically just doing their part to pick off the oncoming aqua droids that are attacking Kamino. So I think seeing this really kind of helps foreshadow what will eventually extend from this dome here, but fortunately we are quite a ways away from that. But, you know, progress is good. Even small progress is still good progress. So I don't think this section right here will be completely open. I'll probably almost certainly add some railing here, but I'm leaving it mostly open just so when I start working on that bridge, I won't have, I guess, left too much access, so to speak. One thing I do still need to do is add the lights in these. So the way I've constructed these, and I think I might have an extra one over here to show you guys. Where is it? Right here. You might remember that I did build these with lights kind of in mind. So basically there's going to be an LED that pokes through that Technic brick right there. It'll shine through the yellow, and it'll actually give a little bit more illumination on the inside of there, which is another reason I wasn't super concerned about not having lights on the ceiling, so to speak, inside the dome. So I think that's going to look really cool, especially when I get shots like this. And I think this is really the money shot right here. I don't know, just seeing this pathway and having it just go all the way around that just slight curve right there just looks so freaking cool. Like, it really makes me feel like I'm in Star Wars Battlefront, which is crazy. It's kind of funny because, you know, I didn't plan all of these elements together. All these things were kind of built independently, but it's so cool to see the scene that they create whenever they finally all come together, and it really is just reminiscent of the Battlefront video game I played, and it really takes me back to that time where I started playing and I was like, man, this is what I want to build next. I really have to give Battlefront the credit for being the biggest inspiration for this build, and it's not been easy. I think, all things considered, this has probably been, from a planning standpoint, from a logistical standpoint, definitely the most difficult build that I've done. You know, Starkiller was huge, but most things with Starkiller I could just kind of build up. Obviously there was a lot of planning, and the oscillator building was a weird shape, but this is on another level. This is a big round dome sitting on stilts. You know, every single part of this is not a super straightforward Lego angle. And I'm not necessarily complaining, but I do just say that to mean that it's been a long time coming with this build, and you know, I'd love to be further along with it, but I think that the time that I've taken to integrate all these details, to spend so much time on these hull panels, like I don't think I spent nearly as much time on the exterior of anything on Starkiller as I did just on these panels alone on the dome. But I think once all is said and done, once we get the full final picture, especially with the water beneath this, it's going to look so good. But really, that's all I got for you guys this week. I'm just going to give you maybe a few more views of this thing, because I love the way this looks right here. It's kind of pulling back around here. And especially once I get the ceiling built up, it's really going to just be all closed in. But like, this is everything, man. This is This is why we do it. I know I say that a lot, but like, we have to grind for views like these. And I feel like it's definitely paying off. So, oh God, we got a down cadet right there. Oh no. But yeah, this is what Kamino's looking like. So we're gonna go ahead and I guess I'll end with a pulled back view. And here is our pulled back view of Kamino. This is really kind of as far back as I can get on this wall. I wanted to do it from this side just to hide most of those missing railing sections over there. But man, this is so visually stunning. I love this so much. And that's going to finish up the Kamino update this week, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. And as always, leave in the comment section below what you're thinking of the build so far. I really do wish I could have worked on the interior, as I said I was going to be doing on the last episode, but I realized I actually have a few obstacles in my way before I can get to that point, which is not a problem, but it's just more stuff that I have to do. So my biggest goal between now and the next update is really going to be finishing up the bottom paneling of the build and also finishing up the ceilings inside of the dome. I don't want to overpromise by saying I'm going to get to the interior because I honestly have no guarantees that that's going to happen. If it does, it'll be an awesome surprise. If not, it is what it is. I'm happy with the progress I'm making on this build so far, and I think it's really just every week I'm getting some part of it done that just makes it feel more and more worthwhile that this is something that I've invested so much time and money into. But that's going to finish things up. If you like what I do, go ahead and support the video by hitting the like button, support the channel by smashing that subscribe button, and I'll be back again very soon.